Welcome to SUSECON Day 2. And I want to personally thank you, all of you customers and partners in the room, for waking up this morning and joining us, but more importantly, for trusting us with your business. Every single person at SUSE, and specifically for the next couple of hours, people from the technology and product teams, everything that we do at SUSE is for supporting you and empowering you to be successful with your business. We focus on enabling your IT and your company to be the best version of themselves. This is why we're so glad and grateful to recognize your achievements with the SUSECON Customer Awards, celebrating and sharing your successes on stage during the keynote with DP yesterday, and more to come this morning. Ben from OC Broadband, who was sitting right here yesterday morning, said it best and very clearly. We want a stack that is simple to manage, efficient, and reliable. We found that SUSE really gives us that. We have many quotes with many numbers on return on investment, accelerated time to market, optimizing costs, but this one does particularly strike me and stay with me because it's simple and it states what you need to do to be successful and how we can help you. We are listening to a lot of you, here and outside the room, across different industries, different use cases, all over the world, companies of different sizes with different business models. We speak a lot with analysts, we monitor the market and the industry, and hence we know that there are clearly a dozen or so challenges and priorities that you're facing as CIOs. We actually believe that there are 4 top priorities that you need to handle today that are really standing out and capturing the most pressing needs you have. And those 4 top priorities are largely interdependent. First, the pressure to innovate keeps on accelerating. There are 2 new technologies that are moving from bleeding edge to mainstream adoption at an ever-increasing pace. And it is ramping up pressure on new CIOs to actually modernize applications, and not just modernize, but modernize much faster than before. To do this, you have to have an infrastructure that can cope with emerging technologies. And you also need to have team members who are not just focusing on the maintenance mode of your systems, but on making sure that you mature your application estate forward. This means re-architecting, rethinking the way you design software and applications, and also moving them to distributed cloud-native architecture. Yet, not all the applications deserve or justify modernization. You will have traditional apps that need to coexist with modern ones. And coexistence means complexity, and complexity means cost. So one of the other priorities that we always have as CIOs or CTOs is optimizing costs. We've all been there, and if we are honest with ourselves, we're always there, actually. Costs are rapidly rising in both traditional and modern infrastructure. You must control them while delivering increasingly complex customer experiences. You need to get the most impact from your team as well as from the solutions that you're using. Challenges in IT, complexity, and innovation have grown much faster than budgets. It creates constant pressures to make trade-offs. For instance, you may need to redeploy or repatriate some workloads from one environment to another one, or you may want to adopt new technologies to automate and simplify your IT. Do more with less. DP mentioned that a couple of times, and do more with less, I'm sure, is top of mind as well for you. Yet, you need to keep something in mind, and we all do that, something that you cannot compromise with. This aspect that we should never compromise with is security. Cybersecurity continues to be a top-of-mind priority because for as long as there's value to be gained, there will be bad players. Global cybercrime now costs businesses more than $6 trillion annually. So that's a priority, obviously, right? Now, along with the modern, evolving applications and infrastructure, the security threat landscape is also expanding. You must ensure you've locked down your supply chain, that you have visibility and governance to meet your compliance and regulations. You have to quickly anticipate and respond to zero-day attacks. By the way, can I ask, who has watched Zero Day on Netflix with De Niro? A few of you, right? So it gives slightly fictional, but it gives a good example of what could go wrong if we don't pay attention as professionals. I wanted to have a nice De Niro picture on the screen, by the way. And my wingman from legal and marketing departments, they say, you should not do that with Universal across the street, right? So the question is the following. Do you have a pluggable architecture that can maintain end-to-end security and compliance for your apps and your infrastructure while keeping up with the business? Now, the last top priority of the four, that should not really be a surprise to anyone, really. The last top priority is leveraging AI with the recent and the yet-to-come advancements in those technologies. Gen AI, as we all know, is both a blessing and a curse for actually every organization to adjust to. More people in your organization will do more things with more data and computing than ever before. This creates, obviously, a lot of opportunities as well as challenges that IT needs to cope with. How can you harness AI and the value that it brings to your business while at the same time avoiding its risks? It doesn't come with no risk. There are risks on your data. There are risks on the quality and the efficiency of the outcome of your AI projects too. And that requires experimentation. You need to make sure that you have open IT architecture to explore rapid trial and adoption of new technologies. We've got a lot more coming on AI topic tomorrow, so I'm not going to spoil it. You have to stay until tomorrow. You have to stay until Friday, actually, even. Yet it's clear that AI also requires security. At the infrastructure, at the compute, at the data layers, AI also requires you to understand and control its cost, because if you don't do, they're going to explode. And AI builds on top and with modern applications. This is to say that those four top priorities are actually all interconnected. Even though they need to be tackled individually as well, for the success of your initiatives, you cannot address one without looking at the others. That's also why we're exactly developing our SUSE solutions like that. We have products and solutions that are modular, that enables you with choice. You got that, right? Yet they're also coming together as well to address those priorities holistically. We are turning open source innovation into truly enterprise open infrastructure platforms. Starting from Linux and multi-Linux as the foundations, we have pioneered and we continue to lead innovation for Linux to the enterprise. The same is true for cloud native. Like Kubernetes, SUSE has always supported and managed any kind of Kubernetes clusters on any kind of infrastructure. To address the four priorities we've just discussed, we need to combine Linux and Kubernetes into relevant solutions to expand platforms addressing the AI needs and the edge requirements. Edge requires solutions focused on security, large scale and smaller footprints, together with industry and vertical specific needs. With SUSE AI, we curate popular AI technologies, providing you choice with the large, small, whatever models you want to use, as well as the frameworks, workflows, and build pipelines to ensure you do not compromise on security nor compliance while benefiting from all the AI innovation. All those solutions are designed, developed, and improved with the infinite power of open source. This is the best way to build those solutions, and open source is also the best approach for you to run your business. And at SUSE, you might have guessed that, we are taking open source extremely seriously. It's who we are, it's been our DNA for decades, and in 2025, we are as open source first as ever. In the vast open source landscape, SUSE is extremely intentional where we contribute and what we contribute to advance enterprise software infrastructure. This includes code contribution, testing, documentation, governance across many dozens of open source initiatives and foundations. Just to give you a couple of examples, as a major and consistent contributor to Linux for over 30 years, we are demonstrating leadership, including a commitment to give you access to the enterprise Linux source codes, and we created OpenELA as a result of that. Or in partnership with major telecommunication providers like Orange, T-Systems, or Telefonica, SUSE is contributing software for the modern 5G telco cloud that is becoming a standard as part of Project Silva. Something you might not realize, but we are publicly ranked as a top contributor in many of those initiatives. And this ranking is from independent sources. That's not my own data. They are real agnostic sources that shows that consistently we are a top company in Linux contributions ahead of everybody else. I actually want to give a quick shout out to my SUSE engineers who are demonstrating dedication, exceptional contribution, and world-class impact with their contributions. an average of 20 lines per employee added to the last Linux kernel version, SUSE is outperforming the competition, including companies like Red Hat, by a factor of 10. Now, we're proud of that, but why does it matter to you? It does matter to you because that's the unique way that we can bring your priorities to the open source table and solve your challenges and needs with our solutions. Open source technologies are required to solve your problems, to meet your opportunities, and yet technology only is not enough. There are additional unique values and principles that are core to SUSE that we deliver to ensure your success. We touched on choice, and that's a necessity. Every enterprise on the planet today has diverse services, operating systems, container management systems, container ecosystems, as we've just discussed with Mark as an example. And we do have at SUSE platforms that are agnostic to provide a foundation for your hybrid and multi-cloud systems. We further empower choice at the workload level as well. This is to simplify your operations, accelerate your modernization initiatives, and provide your business choice to cost optimize what you run and where you run it. Now, in addition to openness, you do need reliability and predictability of your infrastructure. The enterprise part is obviously very key to that. We provide as SUSE consistent code everywhere, predictable release cycles, and long-term support so that you can maximize uptime for your most mission-critical workloads. SAP is one, but not only SAP, right? The second unique value that SUSE brings you is ensuring that everything we deliver comes with security first by design. We have pioneered trusted supply chain with a very rigorous secure open source build process. It is combined with the highest levels of certifications for things like FIPS, Common Criteria, SALSA, and others, so that we ensure that you're protected from supply chain attacks at all times. We deliver you solutions that you can trust to run in your own environment. Then you also need to secure your own environment, and again, we help you do that with unique capabilities like unified lifecycle management and powerful runtime and network visibility capabilities. Finally, where I do believe that actually SUSE leads the pack by quite a distance is ease of use of solutions. It's always been a key differentiation of SUSE products. We're hearing that from you and from the analysts. We're hearing that from the market. And at the rate of today's technological change, ease of use is extremely important due to skills shortage and skills gap as well. We provide you a user experience to automate critical tasks, including full-stack deployment, lifecycle management, and observability. Now, back to your top 4 priorities, you can better optimize costs and reinvest savings into innovation. I'm going to share some announcements. We are developing and finalizing 2 releases for SUSE Linux. First, SUSE Linux 15 Service Pack 7, the last service pack for version 15, which comes with the longest lifecycle support to date, until 2037. Later in the year, we are going to release SUSE Linux 16, the next major version of SUSE Linux, that does a lot of things, but 2 things that you need to keep in mind. First, it will optimize for any type of workloads, and second, it's going to be done in a way that is the best landing OS for multi-Linux support. We are introducing new features for MLS. 2 significant ones are the support of minor versions, and we also support you when you migrate from Enterprise Linux 8 to Enterprise Linux 9, so we can support migration as well with the MLS support. I'm also very excited about our new developments with SUSE Rancher Prime, specifically for developers. SUSE Private Registry is one of them, surprise. But we're also designing blueprints and designs for developers to use their software development cycle tools like VT, GitLab, CI/CD, and GitOps to push applications from the IDE, from their development environment, to Kubernetes on top of Prime, so that developers' life is going to be a lot easier than before. On Rancher Prime, what's very important is the ecosystem as well. And we've got a ton of great announcements there. One of them is with SUSE virtualization. We heard you. You need more storage options with SUSE virtualization. So we're announcing the support for third-party storage, and partners like Dell, Oracle, NetApp, and Portworx are actually supported now with SUSE virtualization. Another very exciting news in the ecosystem landscape for Prime is a partnership with Temenos. So Temenos Transact and Rancher Prime are coming together to become the best banking software platform. The last one on the ecosystem, you might have heard about SLES for SAP in the past few years. We are launching SUSE Rancher for SAP applications the same way that we do SLES for SAP. Let me move to AI. Last SUSECON, we launched an early access program for AI, and we are constantly improving SUSE AI. You can now use securely agentic workflows and guardrails around the models to make sure that you comply with the ethical and security corporate compliance that you need. One key thing that we do bring to AI is AI observability. It is key that you understand the performance of your AI workloads, of the models, the use of the token, and also the use of your GPUs and infrastructure running AI. We launched SUSE Edge Telco 3.2. It comes with telecommunication features for radio area network, but also general edge features like longer life cycle and validated designs for specific configurations. There's a last new area of innovation and announcements that I'm not making intentionally because I'm going to welcome a partner to talk about that today. With SUSE solutions, we are bringing a lot of them to the cloud marketplaces. And we're also entering SaaS solutions with some of our cloud-native solutions. We know that you sometimes feel that choice has eroded, that it's not about you and your needs, but about some vendors who are looking at themselves. We know that you have to address those top priorities that we've discussed, that you do not want to be paying more for the same, or that opinionated stacks are not giving you the autonomy to use best-of-breed technology. There is choice, though. SUSE wants to restore some of that balance back in your favor. We want to give you choices, options, and power so you can win. While going at your own pace, with SUSE, you can move away from costly systems, you can save and shift some of that budget to innovate faster with us. You can get the real power of open source. We'll hear more about that with our next speakers. Thank you for your time.